We are now entering a challenging part of our road to accessibility. Files pose a unique challenge because we are often not the owners of the original content, and therefore we don't have as much control over the document. We often tend to use a lot of different types of files in our courses, and so with that in mind, please consider that you have many options to help you get your files accessible. Now, before we go any further into file accessibility, please note that accessibility compliance does not mean you have to get rid of or completely overhaul all of your files. It simply means that for files that are inaccessible and can't be easily converted to accessible, you need to provide a comparable alternative version of that content. So for the sake of simplicity, let's break file accessibility into two categories. Category 1 is you have files that you have created yourself, and Category 2 is you have files that you have selected from an external source. And we'll start with the first scenario. You have created these files yourself. With the original files, you can go into Microsoft Word, Microsoft PowerPoint, or even Adobe Acrobat to run the accessibility checkers. I'll show you an example of each. Let's take a look at a Microsoft Word document. And in Word, you can go into Review and check accessibility. And the accessibility assistant will show up and will prompt you what needs to be checked or adjusted. In this case, there's not much that needs to be fixed, but this missing alt text can be addressed right here, and you can enter your image description. Similarly, PowerPoint also has an accessibility checker. If you go to Review, check accessibility, and PowerPoint will prompt you to fix your accessibility issues. If you choose to convert either your PowerPoint or your Word document into a PDF, please be aware that File Save as PDF will not retain the accessibility considerations you have put into your Word or PowerPoint document. The only correct way to save a PDF is to go into Acrobat and to choose Create PDF from there. PDFs are arguably the most challenging of all the files to fix. A common issue with PDFs is a missing title. So if you have a missing title for a PDF you've created, you can go in and download the file and open it in Acrobat. Now, if you only need to adjust the title in Acrobat, the easiest way to do that is to go to Menu, select Document Properties, and enter the title manually. If you have more issues in your PDF and you want to try to make those corrections in Adobe Acrobat, you can do that by going to Prepare for Accessibility, Check for Accessibility, Start Checking, and the accessibility checker will tell you what you need to look at. You can select to replace the existing file with an uploaded file. And UDOIT will replace the new accessible file in your files and also anywhere where it exists in your course. This is an important time to note that this is actually a known bug in UDOIT that is in the process of being fixed. And so if you are starting this in March of 2025, it may not be fixed quite yet. UDOIT is working on it and it will be fixed soon. For now, if you want, you can mark it as reviewed. The other scenario, and probably the more common one that you will be facing, is that you have a file from an external source. And we know you have spent a lot of time curating quality resources for your class, and sometimes those PDF files are not accessible, and the idea of trying to redo them is overwhelming. Please rest assured that you can continue to use your PDF files as long as you provide a comparable version that is accessible. If you have a PDF that has been scanned and you cannot locate an accessible version through the UNC libraries, you have a few options. UDOIT will offer alternate formats for you to convert your scanned files, and that includes Canvas pages, ebooks, plain text, audio files, or requesting an auto-tagged PDF. I have already requested a fresh Canvas page, so let's go ahead and view that. UDOIT has taken the image from the PDF and has scanned it into a Canvas page, and so it will read like a document. Now, as you can see, there are some areas that need adjusting. And in fact, because this one is side by side, UDOIT put this in a table format, which, if you recall from before, tables need to be used for data and not for layout. And for that reason, I also selected the plain text option. And here is just the text from the PDF. If I wanted to, I can copy this text and paste it onto a Canvas page. As you can see, there's some errors here that will need a little bit of adjusting. So while many of your students will be able to read your scanned version, you will now be able to provide an equitable alternative in the form of text or a Canvas page, so students can opt to use the screen reader-friendly version. Again, the biggest takeaway from this is you do not have to get rid of all of your files. You only need to consider the files that cannot be made accessible to provide a reasonable alternative. And finally, do not suffer in silence. The UDOIT tool is new and is still being developed. If you run into issues, submit a help ticket with the subject UDOIT, and we will provide what guidance we can. Thank you, and good luck, everyone.